Today's lesson is about fractions and sets. But first, let's review what numerator and denominator means. We've been working with fractions the entire year, and a fraction is part of a whole. The denominator, the bottom number, the part that's beneath the line, tells us how many total are in a fractional set. It's the total number in the set. The numerator tells what part of the set that we're considering. For instance, if we look at this square, we can see there's a total of 4 parts to the square. And upon closer inspection, we see that 3 of the 4 are colored in purple. So if we wanted to write a fraction for the purple set, we would say 3 out of the 4 squares are purple. There's a total number of 4 squares in this square, and 3 of those squares are purple. So 3/4 of the square is purple. Let's look at another set of objects. In this case, we have plane shapes, circles and triangles. So we first must consider the total number of shapes. And in this case, you can easily see that there are 5 shapes. Now, for our interest in this set, we want to consider the circles. You can easily see that there are 2 circles. So our fraction would be 2/5 of the plane figures are circles. So there are 2 circles and 5 shapes. So 2/5 of the shapes are circles. I think the last examples have been pretty easy for you. So let's make things a little bit more interesting. We have pentagons, stars, and hearts. So first we must consider the total number of objects in this set. We can count carefully: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are a total of 9 objects. So where should the 9 be in a fraction? If you said denominator, you are absolutely correct. There's a total of 9 objects in this set. For our purposes today, let's first focus on the pentagons. How many pentagons do you see in this group? Fairly easy to see. There are 3. So for our fraction, we have 3 pentagons, and we have a total of 9 objects. So the fraction of pentagons is 3/9. 3 of the 9 objects are pentagons. So 3/9 of the objects are pentagons. Continuing with this same set of objects, we have already determined that there are a total of 9 objects in this set. So our denominator is still 9. But this time, let's consider the number of stars in the group of objects. You can see there are 4 stars. So our numerator is 4 of the stars are in the group of 9 objects. So the fraction of stars is 4 of the 9, or 4/9 of the objects are stars. Finally, with this same set of objects, let's think about the number of hearts. There are 2 hearts. That's our focus for this fraction. So this time we're thinking about the hearts. We can see there are 2 hearts. And the total number of objects will be the denominator. There are 9 total objects. So the fractional portion of this group of objects is 2 hearts compared to 9 shapes. So the fraction of hearts is 2/9. For these 9 objects, the number or fraction of hearts is 2/9. So in review, when we think about this group of 9 shapes, we can think about fractional parts for this set. When we look at the pentagons, we see that there are 3 pentagons out of the 9 shapes. So 3/9 of the shapes or objects are pentagons. For the stars, we easily see there are 4 stars. So 4 of the 9 shapes are stars, or in other words, 4/9 of the shapes are stars. There are 2 hearts. So 2 of the 9 shapes are hearts. So 2/9 of the objects are hearts. You can see that the denominator is the same. There's the same number of objects in this set. The numerators change depending on the set that we're focusing on. First, we focused on the pentagons and found there are 3/9 pentagons. Next, we looked at the stars, and there are 4/9 of the shapes are stars. Last, we looked at the hearts. 2/9 of the shapes are hearts. And I think that concludes this example of fractions and sets within the fractions.